So I'm going to pick up Andrew because he just had a root canal after 2 weeks of a whole bunch of dental work and he's in a really bad mood. Alright, so when I say 2 weeks of dental work, I'm talking 2 weeks of like torture, like oral surgeon extractions, like, you know, root canals, fillings, all kinds of testing and prodding and assist and like all these like really painful stuff, really painful. And they ran out of Novocaine. Dogs everywhere. So my sister was just asking me, sure, the dental work is cheaper, but do you really trust it in general as a, you know, living conditions better? If I had a whole bunch of money to spend on trust and reassurance, I would probably spend it back in the US. But for now, you know, there isn't really much of a choice. It's like either spend $25,000 you don't have in the States versus a couple hundred down here for stuff that's really important and life-saving. Okay, yeah, we'll just do it here. Faster. Probably saves a lot of money down the road, you know, in delayed treatment. So there's just like a lot of factors that make it so that, you know, one example, in Dallas, I was just getting high all the time because I was depressed. You know, here it's like, I haven't gotten high once down here because we've been going out. We've been able to go out and enjoy ourselves and have fun, and I'm able to relax and eat and not really working so much. And yeah, I mean, yeah, there might be some cartels, drug cartels in the neighboring towns, but I feel good, I feel safe. Whatever this is, it feels worth it for now, you know? Maybe if I'm so worried about being close to a drug cartel, I might move back to the States. But then I'll be near Chicago and St. Louis and Detroit and Compton. And honestly, I don't even feel safe walking outside of my place in Dallas, even though it's so expensive. So, you know, maybe just the whole world is fucked up. Maybe that's the reality of the situation. Alrighty, we're here to pick up Andrew from the dentist. Andrew is on his last day. Second to last day of treatment. How are you feeling? Yeah?
Very professional, very quick. I'm really happy I did all this work while I was here.
The aftermath.
The aftermath.
I'm sorry. I just feel like this is a very important moment to get on camera.
Document. It was a lot all at once. I had a lot of work in a short time, so my mouth is a little...
Very, very sore.
Feels like hamburger, but it was worth it. They did a fantastic job.
Yeah, if we were to do this in the States, it would have probably taken a really long time, right?
This would have been like a year's worth of work.
Yeah, year's worth of work within the span of 2 weeks. Very painful.
Yep.
Post root canal smoothies. I've had a few people ask me what my cost of living has been down here in Colombia. We're not staying in the big city, we're staying outside of Bogota, like a few hours away from Bogota, in a small town called Villa de Leyva, and it's things are, I think, a little bit cheaper than they are in Bogota, and so I just wanted to break down a few of the costs for you guys. First of all, cost of living. Usually on average in Colombia, it costs between like $200 and $500 a month, depending on what kind of place you're staying in. Some people cheaper, some people more expensive. This town that we're staying in actually has quite a few expensive properties, which is very interesting for us. So like a lot of very high-end type of families that are living here, and this is their second home, their vacation home, or whatever. There are a lot of expensive properties here, but I would say on average probably $200 to $500 a month. I'm paying $500 a month rent, and it's on my credit card, and it's It's not even like, I'm not even staying in like an official apartment, it's like an actual hotel. So maid service every day, my own bathroom, like there's like free breakfast. Even though we don't even use the free breakfast, we actually would rather go out for breakfast, because there's there's this breakfast place that we go to that the entire breakfast costs $2.72, and it's a, you know, glass of orange juice, hot chocolate, mocha, coffee, and what else? It comes with eggs, cheese, meat, whatever meat we want to come with it. It comes with marmalade and like a hot arepa, cheese-filled arepa, which is like, oh my god, it's heaven. It's like my favorite. And it's a pretty good breakfast. And butter, you know, like, I don't know, it's just all of that, and it's pretty filling, and it all comes out to $2.72 for that entire breakfast. And so that is like, you know, unheard of in the States, to have such a full and it's like it's in a right on the town square that I've shown you guys in pictures sometimes. It's like right in the central part of town, like the fancy part of town, facing the town square. You can have a breakfast like that, and it's just cool. It's cool to be able to have that. And so altogether, the cost of traveling, it cost us about $50 US to get here with our own private car, all the way from Medellin, which it's actually crazy that it cost us that much. And so each of us paid, me and Andrew, we paid $25 each to get here, which is like, it's stupid cheap considering we were traveling in the car for the entire day. I don't know, like I feel bad for that Uber driver, because it was a long trip and we had a bunch of stops, bathroom stops, and like, yeah. So there's costs of traveling in between cities, cost of flights. Flights cost, I would say, so from Cartagena to Medellin was about like $40, $42. So there's, you know, costs of flights, but they actually, you know, the flights here are kind of like Spirit Airlines. They try to get you on different things. So yeah, the cost of flights are cheap, but they will nickel and dime you as much as you can, especially if you're gringos. You know, like a lot of people will go in without checking in their bags or anything, but if you're gringos and they see you, they'll try to get you to pay like $60 for checking in your bag, even though you didn't pay, even though your flight itself was like $30. So I've seen that happen, and that's part of the reason why I'm really glad that I don't, like, I look kind of Latina. It depends on who it is, but usually they don't always bother me, but they will bother, like they'll bother Andrew, they'll bother anyone that looks kind of white looking, or American, if they think you're American, any kind of Westerner, they'll, you know. So in general, like, you're still going to be paying a lot more than what the locals are going to be paying. If you're going to go to any stores, if you're going to go to any like services, whatever you're going to do, they're always going to try and get more money out of you if you're a Westerner. So if you don't like that, you're really not gonna like the third world. Like, that's just the way it is everywhere. So I would say just keep your head down. Don't gringo yourself. Don't out yourself as a gringo. If you can help it, wear a cap. Like, I don't know. This is not the kind of lifestyle for people that want to be loud and proud, wealthy. You know, this is more if you're trying to downsize, save money, if you're building a business, and while you're building the business you don't have any money, running capital, and you need to live cheaply. Like, this is the lifestyle for you. Put your head down, live cheaply. So that's what we're doing. So basically, so I told you the cost of living, the cost of staying in a place, you know, not having to deal with furniture, it's about $500 a month. And then cost of traveling and food and miscellaneous, I would put maybe another $500, you know, food, traveling, miscellaneous. There's like, you know, we've been doing activities, you know, we haven't been just eating and traveling. Like we've been also going horseback riding, we've been going to like the gyms, we haven't been doing our own laundry all the time. Like sometimes we give it out to a service, which can be a little pricey, like for someone to come and do everything for you. So I would say about $1,000 a month, maybe. If it you know, if you're gonna be really luxury, maybe like 12 or 1,300 a month, you know. So that's how much I would say is the cost of living. And then there's cost of healthcare. So I haven't been going to the dentist, or you know, I've already done all my dentist healthcare stuff before I came here, but there's still like, you know, if I go out for a massage, going out for a massage is gonna cost about $20. A massage, like a 1-hour massage, is gonna cost about $20. I also want to do Botox over here because I don't know if you can tell, it's getting crunchy over here, which I know people think that's stupid, but I'm from LA, so I'm allowed to do that. The cost of Botox, I think when I looked up on the website in Bogota, which Bogota is a little more expensive, but I think it's about $80 to do that, which is still cheaper than the US, but it's not as cheap as I would have expected. But the cost of dental care, way cheaper than the US, and we really, really like the dentist here, and personally I would want to use her too. So you saw some of, you know, I showed you some of the footage before, and we really like our dentist in this place. And she also goes back and forth between here and Bogota. So it's like this small town that we're in Bogota, which is a bigger city, a couple hours away. The cost of dental care, the same procedure, which is like a full dental restoration. And I wouldn't say Andrew's doing a full dental restoration, but pretty close. That would have cost probably about like $20,000 in the US. Not to mention it would have taken a really long time, and you know, we would have been there for like a year if you wanted to do that there. Here, because they've been doing everything, it's so fast, very like chick-chock, and they're very involved, like the doctors, the dentists, like everyone's just super involved, very accessible on WhatsApp. And they really care. So and they've been doing everything, including like the cosmetic stuff, including the whitening and everything like that. So all of that together, probably between $1,000 and $2,000 based on what I've been seeing, which is still a lot of money to drop on dentistry. But think about it, your full mouth restoration, which would have cost at least $20K back at home, you know, at least $20,000. So that is really good. That's really good, you know, and not to mention the cost of, you know, like, I don't know if you guys remembered, but I had a crazy infection in my face back in the States, which almost, you know, it put my life at risk. Like, I'm not even being dramatic. It was really crazy. It was, you know, I was going to my local dentist in Dallas, and every time I was going back to them, and it's like, you have to book these appointments like weeks in advance because of COVID and whatever. And so I kept going to the dentist and being like, guys, I have pain in my teeth and it hurts and whatever. And they're like, don't worry, like, we're gonna put a filling, it's a cavity. So they did a cavity, and they you know, and then I was like, it really hurts. And I went back and they acted like I was being dramatic, and they're like, it's nothing. Here's some antibiotics, you know, maybe it's some residual infection or something like that. And I was like, guys, and then I went back and I was like, hey guys, it really hurts again. And this is like over the course of months, this pain just kept popping back up. And you know, between like setting up these appointments, and you can't set it up over weekends because like it's the holidays or whatever, and COVID and all these things, and so between all of the waiting, my infection just kept getting bigger and bigger, and the infection would keep popping up because the problem was they didn't take out the full infection because they put a filling on top of what was supposed to be a root canal. So they did it wrong. And then on top of that, because everything took so long, this infection just kept growing and blowing up until one day I woke up one morning and Andrew looks at me and he's like, oh my God, why is your face blown up? Like this whole side of my face was blown up, and it was scary. And I was in pain, and it was Christmas, actually. It was like a holiday, and I was in Minnesota, and we were like trying to find a dentist, and we couldn't find anybody, and nobody was working. And finally they were like, okay, you have to go to an emergency dentist. It's an emergency, you can't even wait until tomorrow, like you have to go right now. They have to drain the pus from your face or else it's gonna go to your brain. And it was like really scary. And then I went to the emergency dentist, and the emergency dentist was like, I'm sorry, like this is too big, I can't do this, we have to go to an oral surgeon. And I was like, oh my God. And we have to go to an emergency oral surgeon, and they can't even do the whole thing now because it's a holiday. And so it was like, and it all cost so much money. I mean, all of this, between all of this, not only has it cost, it was between over the course of a year, and I still have been dealing with this stuff. It just stuff that affected my jaw for over the past year, over a year actually, because it started the March of 2021. It started that this stuff started, and so over a year being involved in this stuff, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse because all these dentists are just so high priority and so COVID caring that they needed to take like months in advance to book these appointments. So I was just being on top of it, but I was still paying, like thousands of dollars, thousands of US dollars for one minor thing. And not to mention all this time and all this pain and all this bone loss because they couldn't get it done quickly. So, yeah, you might say, I don't trust US doctors more. I don't trust US doctors more. Maybe they have more code and things to follow, more protocol. Maybe they're more afraid of getting sued. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like, this is a freer market right here. Like, these people that you're seeing that actually care, they care about making money, and they care about us coming back. That's another thing. Like, they keep telling us, like, come back next year. And we're like, why would we be in this tiny town in Colombia next year? You know what I mean? But like, they want us to come back, and so they want to do a really good job, and they're going all out for a tiny fraction of the costs that US doctors would do it for. So I really think that if you are even having a little bit of financial trouble in the US and you're like, oh no, if you're pushing off going to the dentist or doctor or anything in the US because you're worried about costs, like that's already a sign that you don't belong there. You don't belong in a place where you're pushing off seeing a doctor, you're not able to get healthcare treatment because you can't afford it, or because they just don't have time for you. Like, you don't belong there. I don't know what else you want me to say. Like, stay where you are and just die from your infection, and then let them blame it on COVID. You know what I mean? Like, it's stupid. So, anyway, for now, now I'm not a billionaire. I'm pretty happy with this lifestyle, and I don't have any plans to try and full-time live in the US. I'm gonna come back and forth a lot, try to manage real estate stuff. There's a lot of real estate projects that I have going, and I'm definitely gonna be based out of Dallas. If anyone wants to come and say hi whenever I'm there, Dallas is the best city for me in the States, and I'm gonna be there a lot. But depending on the circumstances, like, this is definitely the lifestyle for me for now, until I'm a billionaire, which I know most people aren't. Most people are struggling, and most people should not be there. Most people really need to be downsizing their lifestyle. You might be poor where you are, you might be stressed, but in another place in the world, you will be surprised to find out how much easier and nicer your lifestyle can get, and how much healthier you'll be. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys later. So today's breakfast is eggs, arepa with this saucy thing, mocha chocolate, strawberry banana blackberry smoothie, vegan gluten-free carrot cake, egg and cheese, and caramel cappuccino, and a mango smoothie.